Hello friends, welcome to part 2 of this Watch Shop app. In the first part, we were able to design this page, and in this second part, we're going to be designing this details page. And as you can see, this was where we left, and this is what we want to achieve in this video. When you click on an item, you have a view. When you close, you go back, and we're going to add some animation, transition animation to this details view. All right, without wasting time, let's get started. So I have Visual Studio open here. I'm going to open our Watch Shop app and see where we left off. All right, so just quickly, what I'm going to do is do some things in this main page that we have previously. And remember, we have a view model here. I'm going to set a product called selected product. So let's do prop full, and it's of type product, and name is selected product, and this is selected and the name of the property is capital C, selected product. Okay, so this is going to handle our selected product, so that when we select the product, we have a property to work with in this place. And also in this XAML, we're going to want to set our selection mode here to single, and we want to set the selected item. Let's bind it to that property that we just created, binding selected products. Okay, and the last thing is I want to get the selection change, and let's call it product selected, product selection. I just call it product selected, and go to the definition of this. We're going to handle some things right here. Okay, so we have this setup. So we have to create our page. Let's create the details page, add new item, content page. I'm going to call it details page. And this details page, we also have a view model. So we're going to add a class. Let's call it details view model. Okay, this is public. If you remember very well, sometimes in my tutorial, we used to inherit from a base view model so that we will not re-implement hide notify property change. But we didn't do that in this case. So what I'm just going to do is to go ahead and also inherit hide notify property change in this place, and then also do the implementation of the property change. This is the implementation of the hide notify property change, and do that right here. So the implication of this is that any view model that we created, we have to keep re-implementing this. But if you want to avoid this, then you can make use of a base view model where you will already have all this, and then just inherit from the base view model. Okay, so we have this done, and we need a property selected product right inside here. That's the only thing we need. Selected product. We want this to hold our selected product for us. Okay, I'm going to save. And lastly, before I leave this, let's add in some new assets that we have. So I'm going to paste in some assets here. paste is not working. So I'm going to paste. So I've added few assets, and I've changed the type of watches that I will have to a larger resolution so that you can see it very well. Okay, so now to our details page. Our details page has let's check, has 2 rows. We're going to make use of three rows. This is the first row, this is the second row, and we can even just limit it to 2 rows. So let's just limit the 2 rows. The first row takes this first part, the second row takes this other part. All right, so I'm going to have a grid. So let's do grid, and the row definitions, let's set to 2 star and star. This is 2 star and star. All right, so here the first thing we want is so before we go, so that we can see this as it's working, let's use the let's reload. Let's change this to details page and run this project. So the first thing we need to do in our model is the image. I can see here we need this background image, we need this arrow, and we need this. So we're going to do that. That will be in the first row. So we're going to have an image, set the source to the details background, and right on top of this we're going to create a part. I'm going to put that in a, we're going to create an image button first, and that image button is also going to take our back button. So we have image button, back button. All these are in the first row. And we have a back tab here. Let's undo this and set the this navigation purpose sync to go back to the previous page. Okay, so let's save this. Yeah, so as you can see, we have the back, the background image, and we have the back button. And we want to set the background color. Our background color here is this. Let's copy this, put this in here, let's save. So we have our background color. So right on top here, just still in the first row, we want to have a grid, and the grid is going to have height and width requests. I'm going to close this. So in this grid now, we want to put in, this is the grid. We want to put in this shape and this image. So the shape is a part. What I've done is I have select this. I don't know why it's grouped together. Okay, let me just undo this. So that is the shape. This is the shape. If I copy this as SVG, I can open a notepad and put that inside. So I can open a notepad and paste that inside. So this is the definition of our part. So that's what we're going to make use of. All right. So let's do, in this place we're going to add a part, and that part will have this data. So part white uniform has that data. Let's save. So we have that now. Then right on top of that, we're going to have an image. right on top this part, we're going to have an image, and this image is going to be binding to the selected property image. All right, so let's leave it like that. So on the second row, we want to make use of a stack layout. So that is outside here. Second row, stack layout, spacing, row 1, have some margin. And right inside here, we want to set, what we want to set is this. So this is going to be a stack layout, horizontal, and another stack layout. So grid, and we'll push this to the right, and the stack layout holding this. Okay. So we have a grid, and right inside that grid, we have a stack layout that is holding the name and the model, and we have a text that is holding the price with this format. Okay. So next to it in this stack layout is the about. As you can see, is the about. So the about is a stack layout that contains two labels, and set this to description. Then the next thing is what defines these 4 items: the plus, the label, the negative, and this button. I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. I'm going to copy all this in. So right here, so you can see we have a stack layout. The first thing we have is a grid. Inside it we have ellipse, and we have a path. This path is what's going to give us the negative sign. This is the data. Next to it we have a label showing the number of items. We have another grid that is similar to this one. That's going to show 2 paths. This is it's showing to show 2 lines. This shows the vertical, and this shows the horizontal line to create a plus sign. So we are putting everything in a grid. Then we have our button that's saying add to cart. So let's save this. Okay, so you can see now that we have this in our item. So I'm going to stop this now and change our main page. Change this to the new navigation page, and add a new main page inside. So we want to start with our main page. Okay, so what we now want to do is right here in our main page.cs, let's find it out. Main page.cs, 𝐦𝐨𝐬𝐴.cs. So when the product is selected, what we just want to do is want to call the selected method in the main view model. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to call the VM, because we already have that VM. We're going to say show details, but this show details method is not yet available. So we'll go to our VM. This is our VM. We're going to create a method called show details, and so let's just create the method right here. That's public void show details, and in this method all we just want to do is to first of all just navigate to a new page. So we're going to say our page equals new details page, and this new details page we want to set the binding context. So just say binding context. We'll set it to a new details page view model, new details view model, and this details view model has a property called selected product. I want to set that selected product to the selected product of this main page. So if you click here, you see that this is the selected product that is coming from the details view model, and this is the selected product that is coming from this main view model. I'm going to end this here, and the next page we're going to do the navigation to a new page. Okay, so we run this now. We should be able to navigate from our page to the next page and see the details. Okay, so we have this now. So if I select on this, we can go to the next page. Select go back. We can see that there's a navigation here that we don't want. So on our main page, I'm going to set navigation page that has navigation bar, set it to false, and the same thing on the details page. I'm going to set that to and save. So as you can see, that has gone. I click, I go back. Main page, let me save the main page too. So if I go back now, you can see, so you can tap on an item and come back. You can see that our description here is not showing. It's because we don't have a description in our code yet. So I'm going to do two things. The first thing we're going to do is to add description to this. Then the next thing we want to do is to add a transition to this. So when you click on this, you want this thing to transition to a page smoothly. All right. So in order to do this, the first thing we want to do is to set the product description for our page, for our product, and that is just, I'll just put a dummy text. So in the view model, this is where we have our product. So I'm just going to add details, description to this. So I'll be able to show some description. All right. So I'm going to add this to this property to it, and set this. So we can now show properties. We can now show the description now. So what we want to do is to do transition. So the first thing is to add a NuGet package called shared transition. And this is the package. Select this, install in all the projects, and install. So once this is done, we need to just change some things in our pages. Okay, so we have this done now. So the first thing we need to do is to change the transitioning, how we are transitioning, how we are navigating. So we will go to the app.xamarin.cs and change this navigation page to a shared transition navigation page, and resolve this namespace using plugin.shared transition. So that's the first thing. And secondly, in our main page, we need to set some things. So for this image, this is the image I want to transition. For this image, we want this to we want to give it a name and a group. So we're going to add two properties: transition, the name, and the group. So we're going to add this. So this is coming from the shared transition. So I'm going to add that namespace here. LS_ST was shared transition. Okay, so we have that. So you can see we have this now. Then in our details page, we want to also give this name to the image. So this is the image in the product list page, and in the details page right here, this is the image. We're going to give this the same name. I'm going to add that same namespace, same LS_ST was shared transition. Okay, so and lastly, what we now want to do is, before we navigate from here, we want to set the transition group. So we're going to make we're going to call the shared transition page navigation page and set the transition selected group. We're going to set it to so we're going to do something like this: shared transition navigation page, dot set transition selected group, and the page that is requested we want to use is this page. Then the name, don't forget the name of our group. We're binding it to, let me show you again. The name of our group, we're binding it to the name of our product. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to say the selected group. We want to get the selected product name. So it's coming from the vm.selectedProduct.name. All right. Let's save this and run. So we have this running. Let's click and see. As you can see, we have that smooth transition. When we click back, it transitions back. So we can see we have smooth transition. Alright guys, if you have enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, like it, share it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all other social media platforms. And if you're yet to subscribe to this channel, endeavor to subscribe so that you don't miss other interesting contents like this. Thank you very much guys. I will see you in the next video.